Listen. Yeah. Yes, God. Get that out of there.
Wait a minute. I said I'm about to start the whole show, and you got nothing but a background. Hey, everybody, it's your boy Matty Rants. Thank you so much for tuning into the channel today as we talk about We're Here. I had a lot of you who were asking, what happened to it, Matt? Where did you go? What happened? I thought we were doing this today. And I haven't been feeling good, so I took a break from doing We're Here. That show requires a lot of emotional investment. And I was dealing with my own investment here. You know what I'm saying? So if you're tuning in today, we are talking about this show, and we are going to go over episodes 2 and 3. I believe that's Temecula, California, and Del Rio, Texas. We will be picking this back up again, and it'll be on, I believe, Wednesdays for the channel. So what will happen is I'm going to have episodes 4 and 5 for this upcoming Wednesday, and then I should be caught up because I think there's like 5 out now, and then 6 should be coming out soon. So then I'll have 5 and 6 pop up for the weekend, and then I'll be caught up by 7 to pull it back out on a Wednesday again. So we'll be able to talk about the show here. I did not get every picture possible, so if you're looking for the entirety of the program, I didn't do that. I got several screenshots, and I want to just go over what happened with these episodes. Can everybody hear me loud and clear first? Because I don't have them on top of my head as I'm trying to keep my hair. I'm trying to keep the bounce right now. But yes, how's everyone doing? Happy Friday to you. I know this is sort of the afternoon, evening-ish for some, and if you're across the pond, you're basically around midnight. But how is everyone doing? I hope everyone's having a great day. I know this is not normally Drag Race where, lots of numbers of people are going to be in here, but We're Here is an important show. And I also know I'm a tad bit behind with this review, but as a promise, I made sure to keep that I got back to the series, and I want to make sure I cover it because it's a wonderful show. I think everybody should be watching it. I want to be on the damn show and tell my story, Lord Jesus. But for real, it's good television. Production's perfect. I love that these 3 queens have honestly won my heart from this show. Not Drag Race, of course, but from this show alone. If people just met Bob, Shangela, and Eureka, they'd be on board. Oh my goodness. Let me make sure I mute myself as Mimi needed to react to something here. All right, so let's go ahead and get my slideshow going. Also, I want to give some news here, I guess, on what's happening today in case you want to follow me through. We love a good slideshow. Shout out to StreamYard. Tonight, I want to say at 4:30 Pacific, 6:30 Central, 7:30 Eastern, I'm going to be on the stereo app for the Fortunate Rants podcast. It's going to be a good hour and some change of hot topic conversation with myself and Mimi Cherry. So make sure you join us on the stereo app. Also, tonight, I will be on the Boys Night Out panel, which is going to be on the Scotty by Nature TV YouTube channel. That's going to be around 8:15 Central PM, 9:15 Eastern. That's also going to be another hot topic, sort of fun boys conversation situationship with a bunch of great people. So if you are interested, definitely join me on those platforms tonight. Basically hopping off of YouTube to go to stereo, then hopping right back onto YouTube to go to someone else's channel. Busy and successful. Hey, CA. Hey, everybody else. Remind yourselves, I'm going to be highlighting comments here. So don't forget that whatever you say, I can put on the board and you can include yourself in this moment. And we'd love to have you here. Me. I'm not with the panel right now. It is an amazing show. My girlfriend and I watch every week. I know Cardi B was tweeting about it, which is crazy. Of course, not crazy for Cardi B watching, but, high profile celebrity giving it some life. Let the show continue. That's how I feel. Like, I want to make sure we keep watching this so we have more and more seasons of the show. Maybe add another queen on board. Keep these 3 as the core. I don't know. Maybe have me on season 3. I'm in Texas again. I mean, come on, y'all. how I would be gagged if Bob or Shangela, Eureka included, made me over and did a whole bit. It would be so much fun. But let's get into it. We're starting in Temecula, California. I'm going to get my notes ready here. As y'all know, we are organized now. We're here. So, funny story about this. This house that we're looking at, I believe, is a VRBO rental or it's on Airbnb because I have seen this literal front so many times. Y'all don't even know. Like, especially when we were looking for places in San Diego, and I recommended Temecula because it's wine country, but you know, we had to make it in San Diego. I wanted Temecula. I'm just going to put that on the board, but we got to San Diego. Anywho, I've been to Temecula before on a boys' trip with a bunch of friends, and we rented a huge house and had a good time. And it also was around my birthday many, many moons ago. But this I was familiar with. So when we got to Temecula, California, I was like, oh, I actually am familiar with this place. And so I kind of resonated a little bit with the area. I understood what it was about, it as well as the town itself. It is conservative. People think in California, just because it's that state and it's a blue state normally on elections, that you're going to find yourself a bunch of Democrats. But guess what? Multiple towns, many towns in California, cities included, are very Republican. So the house was fabulous. Mind you, if we had got it for my birthday, child, it wouldn't have been that bad. Now, these looks were giving Housewives of the Temecula formation. Bob is giving the ultimate breastplate with the ultimate prosthetics, because that is not just makeup. That is a prosthetic given on this face, mama, for the cheeks, especially the fill-in of all fill-ins, I like to say. And I live for Bob's look. I was not ready. It's one of my favorite looks I think Bob has ever done. Was not ready. Shangela is giving me what Shangela does. It gives me very dynasty, expensive tees, pink, pretty, that girl. And Eureka looks really good in this mint. I'm here for the purse with the little toy stuff, dog, and of course all that extras. That feathers going down the front. Yes, ma'am. Okay, very loud, very lovely. I love it. Very much here for the looks. 44 in the room. Thanks again for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button and share this video. Get more people on board here. But thanks for tuning in. We're talking about We're Here. You're like, Matt, this sounds completely different than your Drag Race reviews. Yes, it does, because we're talking about a whole nother show. That's me. That's your boy as a reviewer. Okay, I save energy for other things. This deserves a cool tone. We're on the radio. Magic 102.1. Okay. This show makes me feel good. I also was crying like a oof. I cried a lot. We're Here. You make me sick for this. I cry so much watching this show because I find myself relating to everybody. And also, you play the right music too when we're going through scenes and you want the certain emotions to feel. Oh, y'all need to get an Emmy for that for sure. Because, baby, I'll be over there like, oh, here, cue the music. There go the strings. Child, here come the story. My God. Okay. Woo. Have mercy. Let's go through it here. We got James on board. James is somebody who I fell in love with as we continued this journey on the show. James has Asperger's, and it wasn't something that they initially knew, and it turned into a scary situation for them as they were going through school, still trying to figure things out, both mom and son here, okay? And apparently they were being bullied and picked on. The teachers weren't helping them. I'm going to talk about a conversation that happened with Bob at the table in just a second here, but they had to work out that situation. At the same time, this young man is going through being a trans gay male. Okay, so just so we're clear, they are a trans gay male. All right, so I am interested in the process, of course, of how with what's going on with them, they as a person seem to be so direct in what they want. And it really blew my mind a bit because they're young. And I was sitting here going, like listening just like Bob was to their, questions and answers and all of that. And I was like, wow, like so direct and very honest. And at the same time, you can tell there's that piece that just needs another push, like just to you know what I mean? Just a little something else is going there where we need to figure out the next level and the next growth in the next stages for them. And then also they brought up Dio, which if y'all are not familiar with that character, that's from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. That's an anime manga for the girls that read. But they were bringing up how they relate to them, and that's their idol or someone who they see themselves as. Who Dio is a villain, which in the community LGBTQI plus, a lot of us relate to that character because of what we've been through, or the normal villain or the anti-hero, as they say. But for this baby here, I saw something there I related to in a bit, and I also found the conversation or the flow with their mother was interesting because mom is protective. And I can't even judge her. I found one of my friends who was watching it go, she seemed a little like on top of him. And I said, yeah, because imagine the stuff they've been through, and imagine like this situation now where there's cameras in the house. We're fully opening up the door. Pandora's box is now open. And my son is sitting here telling their life, and they're being very honest about it. And I'm trying to be supportive because I myself am still, of course, going through what I'm going through, but I'm also trying to make sure that this one is going to be okay at the end. I got her. There's no judgments for me, because it was at first I felt she was like speaking for him, and then he would speak back real quick, and it was very interesting. But then I recognized the dynamic as the episode progressed between the two and what they were about. So I was here for it. As my mom said to me once, when you know something, you know something. I mean, let me tell you about, I could talk about Deborah all day because my mama used to ask me why I'm this person today. Okay. By the way, check out my We're Here shirt. I got this from the promo box that they sent me back for season 1. And I still love this shirt, by the way. But yeah, Mama Bear, I see it. But this baby here is an interesting one. And I found it also fun to go through the thrift store with Bob, and they were shopping around. And when I saw that they loved Beanie Babies, or they were interested in getting one for their mother, I had a moment. Matty cried. Matty cried. Because that's something me and my mom used to do when I was really little and I was going through my phases. I collected Beanie Babies for a while, and that was one of my things, right? So my mother got into it too, because we were like, oh, these will be expensive later. We can sell these. But for me, I just enjoyed collecting them because they looked adorable, and it was sort of my spiel, right? So my mom had specific ones that she liked. And okay, I'm not gonna cry. I'm gonna get through this. I'm gonna get through this. Come on, man. So I currently have one of the ones that she kept. That was mine when she passed away. And it's Blizzard. It's the Siberian tiger. And it was my first Beanie Baby that I purchased along with Valentino, the white bear with the red heart. And I got him in a case and everything. And my mom got the tiger too, because she was like, I like that one. So it was so interesting to see that she kept it when my mom passed away and I went to go to her house and everything and get stuff. I saw the tiger on the stand, and I immediately made sure, like, do not touch this, because this was the tiger that my mom took from me when she lost hers. And it's like, I saw the stain and everything. It's crazy. But I related in that scene, and I was like, oh, like I got the feels like when I heard that, because that was something my mom liked too. She liked when I would like buy things like that for her. And I see this person, and who really loves their mom and also wants to fully embrace themselves and be open and not be afraid to be. So again, love this damn show. Oh, Lisa, I had one. So I had one, but I didn't have like the first editions, but the ones that were super expensive. Mine was worth about $450, if I remember correctly, because that was sold, and I was mad I didn't get the money from it. Somebody else sold it because my little brother got a hold of them, then my other brother got a hold of them. But yeah, I had one of the Princess Dianas, absolutely. And when it first came out, I remember me and my mother drove all around Houston trying to find one. Deborah was a real one. Let me get my son this goddamn Beanie Baby. Absolutely. And when we found it, it was like, oh, take them. but they were super expensive. People used to put them on tables outside, like at like a Whataburger, and you're like, "What are we doing here at Whataburger? Getting Beanie Babies?" Okay, Lisa, that's that back of the gap stuff, all right? Before people were really using eBay. But this was a cute moment, and Bob really is a gentle soul and someone who's very cerebral and understanding a person. I'm very happy with the three people who they've chosen to be on this show because it's always represented in how they communicate with with the people who are participating in this project. So now let's move over here to this one. This was interesting. I ain't got nothing bad to say about nobody on the show. I'm just saying. We got Jake and Brad. Jacob is the son, and Brad is the boyfriend. And when I say son, there is a mom that's also put into the situation here. I said mothers are really deep in this episode in particular, right? Now, Jacob and Brad are living in Temecula, and how they describe Temecula is completely different from, say, how their mother would describe it, where she's in real estate, beautiful woman. I was like, mother, how old is she? She looked young. Okay, I'm gonna get to mama in a second. But they talked about it having a horrible experience living there, some homophobia that they've gone through, all of the above with that. And so for them, especially Jacob, he's trying to feel comfortable in himself being open and around other people, or say PDA. We had this discussion on Drag Race UK just yesterday about PDA and how it honestly in the community, it's almost like PTSD when someone touches your hand or wants to do something and you feel that someone's watching you and wants to then hurt you. So they were going through that, of course, through their journey. And this is a part of how they feel. It's so, okay, let me pull this in. Because for them, I'm thinking, why not just move? And then I told myself, okay, Matt, why do they have to move? Hands up. I'm telling you, I really sat there for 5 seconds and said, why are they just move? Why do they have to move? Just forget that. Why? It's my home. It's where I'm from. I want to feel comfortable here. And why do I have to sit here and just appease these people who are not aware of everything else that's moving forward? And why not move forward in that sense? So I'm with them. I understand what they're going through. Trust me. Even living in Houston, child, is very that. Now, mama, look at mama. I was like, that's your mom? I thought that was his oldest sister or something, and not even old like that, like 7 years older. Okay, maybe 5. Um, very that. Let's see here. As a native Californian, hearing that they experience homophobia in Temecula, yeah, that tracks. Okay, so when I went there a few years ago on that group trip, there was an incident that occurred at the vineyard that we went to, the winery vineyard, where some lady asked me a very inappropriate question. And she did it like not thinking it was wrong, but it had a lot to do with all these men, all these black gay men who were all together in a group and asking us why we were there. And it was just very weird how she talked to me with her energy. Of course, I shut her down, but I'm used to people doing that passive aggressive stuff and responding in a very aggressive, passive way. Like, that was a dumb question, kind of bet. It's normally how I answer it, very that. But mom is supportive of her son. Mom is there for it, but mom also has just a few. It's like she hasn't crossed over just yet. Like, she's right at the fence. She's waving at her son. I love you and I support you. But she hasn't realized that that's actually a gate and you can open it and then just go past the fence. That's where I look at mom for the most of this, right? She's there, but she doesn't know how to be there fully yet without being just a tad bit uncomfortable from what she knows and from what she's experienced with her son. Also, I found this amazing with the moms here in particular. Um, Especially when they have the stories about when the child came out and how they felt and how it crushed them sometimes, or you have expectations. I had that conversation with my dad. That's why I can't get mad at any parent for feeling a way initially over their child, because in a sense, wouldn't we all have expectations of our children if you already have them, or if you wanted children? Wouldn't you have expectations? I mean, some people going, I want a boy or a girl, or others, I want them to do sports or be an artist or this, that, and the other. You have expectations. So it is something. And I get that there's sympathy there from me. I'm not going to be like, you should always be. No, no, no. There's sympathy there. But there's also, after that portion of you realizing that's not what it's going to be, we got to move forward. Because if we don't, then where are we going? How are we going to move on? We're a family. We're supposed to love each other. Is that In-N-Out Burger down there? I hope not, baby. Oof. Let's continue. Thanks for being here, everybody. I see y'all up in the room. Don't forget to hit that like button and definitely leave a comment here. I want to highlight some people. Yeah, yes, the town is the problem, not them. Joel Myers, hey friend, mom looked amazing. What's up, Essie? Mom is a popular Christian influencer. Oh, so see, that's why she may have been super worried because, of course, showing the support for her son and being in the Christian community, Lord knows I know, it may come back and hurt her, which isn't that insane for in the Christian community not having that love and support of all your fellow man? Really? Isn't that in the Bible? Okay. There's a lot of stuff in there. You know I'm a Christian, but I'm also very aware that the book does contradict itself on many occasions. I've read it front to back. Okay. So trust and believe. I get it. But there are contradictory moments in the Bible words. You said this here, but then now over here, it's okay. But you got to do A, B. Okay. Listen. Um, Mom didn't know how much she was missing until they two with the other young man whose family wasn't coming to see the show. Yes, Deborah, let me get that screenshot together. We got to go ahead and get to Andre now. But she did start to, get a little excited too when she saw that red wig, Deborah. Once she saw that red, that red wig, she was like, "Ooh, I know who this I want to be." I said, "Uh-huh." Look at Eureka. Got her. Eureka was like, zoop, and that was what we needed. Andre's adorable. I think they're absolutely adorable. They're a cheerleader. That's where they get to express themselves, but unfortunately, they're not really open or out to their family like that. Um, and when they do have conversations about it, it's very, shut that down, shut that down, shut that down. And it was, I understood, and I got that, and it was sad because I see the joy. Just look at this picture. Like when they met Shangela, like that, there was so much spirit in there. And I felt, damn, I know that that is hindered in that household, but there's still love there because that's your family. So I have a spiritual connection with these people. I always do when I watch We're Here. Every time I feel like I know these folks right after after the episode is over. But meeting Shangela, talking and telling their story a little bit, sort of halfway there. But also Shangela could relate because they're both cheerleaders. So it was a cute scene and a great moment. Some good shots. Production, some good shots were in here. There was one wide shot I couldn't get the screenshot for, and I was running late trying to get here. Okay. And it was really nicely set up as they were speaking. So shout out to them. Y'all know I used to be a gymnast, so I'm really cool with that. But this picture I posted here early, of course, Mama, we know they get dusted later and all that stuff, but there was a really sad scene, and I wanted to keep it in this frame where they do not have an open relationship with their family in terms of the fullness of, let me do drag one day, you'll be fine. The family didn't want to come to the show. They got the call right before because they told them, but they said, no, we're just not going to go. It's not going to be a good look for them. And it was sad, but I'm happy that they still felt power and still continuing with performing this episode, because I know that would have hurt. That would have hurt me too, baby. But yeah, so listen, Temecula, they said December 2020. So I'm gonna tell you now, Temecula is hella cold in December. It was cold in September when I went there in the evening time. So it was majorly cold. So when I saw their breath and all that, I said, yeah, honey, it's definitely not warm outside. But they had cute rehearsals. I always love when they get their little safe spaces. This conversation was it. This conversation was it. I enjoyed this moment a lot for the fact that and shout out to Eureka for kind of opening up this conversation a little bit, and then also for Andre for feeling safe in speaking their truth, as well as the way everybody was able to communicate around the table. I also noticed, sitting there watching this with James, paying attention to everyone. There's a couple people older than them there. You know what I'm saying? Have been through a little bit more of an experience, but also have relatable moments to see. It's amazing how this conversation played out. So going into it, it had to do with the acceptance as a mother and coming to the show, and Eureka stating, it would be amazing if you came to the show, Michelle, because you would be showing support to your son. Like, Andre, how do you feel about that? Because I believe that your parents aren't going to be coming, or what would it mean to you? Um, you know what I'm saying? In order to make that happen, or if they made it happen. And as they were explaining it and they started breaking down, and I started to get emotional because that's how I felt when I would do certain stuff like athletics, sports, and all that. Didn't even want to do those things. And I would do really, really good. And my dad was never there. Like, you made me do these things, and you're not even here to witness me in my greatness. But whenever I'm messing up, you right there. It's those kind of moments that really touch the heart. And you can definitely tell Michelle understood the assignment by that being expressed. Then, of course, her own son was speaking about the hate crimes that they face and horrible moments that they've witnessed. And, of course, the boyfriend, too. And it's like, she may not have known these things or have had that good open of a conversation before, but that is why Eureka should have won that challenge. See, now I pulled it back to Drag Race, everybody. That's why Eureka should have won that challenge. She literally started this whole conversation. I kid you. I was like, yo, did Eureka just do that? Like, mind you, how would you feel? Went all the way over to Shangela's person. It was like, I was like, okay. Let's see here. Liam, hey, sweetheart. This child is my favorite person in the episode. He was such a joy to watch. The way he gave the older gays his rainbow pen, and the trauma circle made my heart scream. Yeah, that was an adorable moment, and it felt so adult of him to do, as well as very, aware of what's happening. And in turn, when I say that, I'm not like saying, oh, they're not aware of things. It's just, how people be present in the moment, but not fully there. That's what I'm referring to. He was present and aware. So I love to see that from somebody like him. And I'm once again, y'all pick the right folks all the time. We're here. You can pick me. I don't know if I have to sit in a tape or something, but just put me on the show. I have a story to tell. I promise you. Well, y'all know I have a story to tell, but watch that lead me into season 16 of Drag Race. I'm just saying. I need a little push. The trauma circle was a lot, but again, the show it flows very fluidly and it's beautiful. We talked about, once again, Andre getting the call that his parents would not be there to support them, but them saying that, hey, I'm going to make this happen. Okay. Shangela opens up the show, and it was a good time as usual. Go on, Shanji. You always know the assignment, my sister. I said she opened up twice because that was episode 2 and 3. Now, Eureka's performance with the O'Haras here, which would be, child, forgive me, I'm trying to get these names together, Jake and Brad. They did Paparazzi by Lady Gaga. Everyone threw on their best Tina Burner wig. I thought this was a great performance. They had a good time on stage, and you can see, a little nervous here and there, but those nerves weren't meant to be like, oh, it's terrible, but more so, this baby's first time. And for the first time, you doing a damn good job. So I was really here for that love on stage. And of course, the growth of seeing these two be open and be openly gay like this, and just be free that moment. And their mom, of course, came on the stage afterwards. I forgot to put the picture, but the mama came on the stage afterwards in her blue wig and sat there for the picture. I would been fun if she performed with them, but that was a big step. So I was here for it. Very much that. Okay, so our good friend here, James. Okay, now with James, I have the name down. I sometimes don't get the name when they're introducing the people. We're here. I'd like to have that conversation with you. Sometimes it's not really said loudly, like it'll be in the background, but they'll be talking. And I'm like, how am I supposed to hear this name? So just one note. I love you. One note. It drives me a little crazy. But I live for their drag name. It is Captain James of Atlantis. You had me at Muppets. You've introduced Muppets into the routine. It's automatically a 10. Oops, I guess they won. Because if this was a competition, there was a winner. They won. Muppets were involved. Bob was there. It was amazing. I loved every bit of it. I thought it was cool. I thought it was new. I thought it was Muppets. Puppets were involved. Sorry, it was very Dark Crystal meets some sort of JoJo's Bizarre Fantasy. I liked it a lot. I really did. And I loved seeing their mother watch them on stage and really just like living for their son. It was so cute. Like I really do. It was nice. Melanie, it's okay if you're late. We're just on episode 2 right now. We're gonna be going into episode 3. I'm going to be on a time crunch because at 6:30, 30 minutes from now, I'll be on a podcast with Mimi Cherry for Fortune and Rants. And then at 8:15, an hour and 45 minutes after that, I will be on another panel tonight discussing hot topics. So I am not getting a break. I am literally filming for 5 hours. Oh, and then actually, if you're on my Patreon, go check out the reaction to Drag Race UK episode 8. I just posted it. I had coffee today, so that was helpful. But I was totally here for Captain James of Atlantis. I thought he was amazing. Getting on to Andre and Shangela. Okay, let me tell you something here. Andre, I want you to hear my little gay shake. You're a good cheerleader and you're a great dancer. I know you had flats on, all is forgiven. Shangela was in pumps, but those flats are forgiven. You were cutting up. This is boom, the part when I say I don't want it. I said, all right. The standing tuck, da dun dun. It was the standing tuck for me, everybody. I was like, oh, love it, man. $25. I'm like, Andre was cute and drag. I was here for it. Yes, this was great. A great way to end the episode. A fun time. I felt everybody got to be themselves and fully express who they are. Episode 2 in Temecula was good. I cried, I laughed, I loved, I lived. I did all of those things. Episode 3, let's go ahead and head on over to Del Rio. Can we cue the Street Fighter theme music when they're like going across the map to go fight people? Do-do-do-do. I don't know. I did it all wrong. Anywho, Del Rio. So I forgot that I've been to Del Rio before, by the way. I had flashbacks. I kid you not. I had flashbacks. I had flashbacks. I was gagged. I was like, I have been to this place before. I have driven through here. I have stopped in this place before. Y'all know I'm from Houston, born and raised. And of course, I have traveled like no other. But and I mean just the United States because I haven't gone out of the country just yet, unless Jamaica, still a part of it. All of that. Del Rio is a very small town in terms of the city. It's not city like, period. Okay. Just go ahead and get that out there. So seeing them highlighted was very interesting from my experience of going through that town, staying there one day and leaving. But I also was glad to see where Del Rio has come from, because when I was there, that was years ago. That was Matt in his 20s, like early 20s, college. And I'm always excited for Texas towns to be showcased, because Texas is a growing community. It's a huge state, but it's not always the same stereotypes that you think it is whenever you think of Texas. So again, look at me giving Texas some love, even though there's some bullshit with the electric companies and all that kind of mess. I ain't gonna go there. But child, Shangela's bus broke down, baby. Shout out to Johnny at Instagram. One of the producers here on the show. I think he posted this, or they did on the We're Here thing, and somebody was working on the van, and I just realized that they just cut that entire part of someone working on it, and we just got the pink smoke going. Either that or this was done for effect. But if it was pink smoke, that'd be amazing. That would be amazing. Why would it be pink smoke? I'll shut up. Did anybody else have a moment seeing this with the Amistad? Please tell me we had a moment when we saw that. Please tell me we had a moment. I was like, whoo. I would tell you what every time I see that word, I think of two things: the movie Amistad, and I think about halfway through my African American Studies class in college, and my teacher brought that up, and he made us watch the movie, and then he was like, "Okay, now that we've done that, let's talk about what really happened." Whoo! I'm telling you, when I when I say there were people who were not black in that class who were threatening to leave, and some that did leave because they wouldn't take the things that were being said. It was a lot. I do think I was thankful for that class, but I learned a lot of things that, whew, goodness. Anywho, moving through this, I thought their outfits were fabulous as well. The whole football part of it, they came for the town. It was very much, an homage to Del Rio and everything else like that. Um, I'm referring to the Amish. Oh God. Okay. I understand that, but I'm referring to the movie when I see that word. I'm like, here we go. Do y'all know what I'm talking about with history and the Amistad? Or is it just y'all only think of it as friendship? I'm gonna continue. Great. Okay, so it was nice seeing Eureka, and Shangela in these clothes here. I know what you mean, but I'm like, okay, I'm just telling you what I thought of when I saw it. That's all I was saying. Right? That's why I was like, but wait. Like I hear you. I know that means that, but I'm referring to what we went through with that. You're fine, Lucina. You fine, Lucina. Oh, my love to you, baby. You're fine. I'm just referring to history for free. That's all. That's all. I don't know what that means, though, Dave. Woo! That was one of those moments where it was like, wait, what? Okay, everybody, hold on. We have to pull it in. Okay. Back to this. So they go over. I found this to be also interesting where they always go into spaces that I myself may cringe a little bit going into. And I guess that speaks to me being a person who's still not comfortable fully in specific spaces, like, say, like family oriented spaces, because I don't want someone to automatically assume if I say were to be clocked that, um, you know, they would think I was a threat to their family or their children, because that's what a lot of people do who are homophobic or are not, I guess, who are just a bit ignorant, is they think that when they see a gay man or a person of LGBTQIA descent, that when we, roll up in somewhere in a space that they may not be comfortable with us in, that we're there to disrupt, that we're, there to disrupt, to disturb, and to harm. And it makes me uncomfortable. And I've been in situations like that where I've gone somewhere and someone asked me why I was there, and well, there's kids here, and da 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 da. And it was like, what is happening here? Like, we're at the park. So it is something to see them walk in unapologetically, excuse me, and be themselves fully, because sometimes I find myself code switching when I put myself in those social spaces. And I myself had to come to realize this. And this is after I talked to my doctor and we went over me going to therapy. As a matter of fact, my first therapy session is going to be the day before Thanksgiving. And I'm thankful for that. Is that I have some social anxiety with going into spaces with people. And I think the worst when I get in those spaces. You know what I mean? So seeing this was like a wake up call for me to step up a little bit and be okay. But also, I like to see the fact that they do this and it's like, okay, whatever, what's up? It does help the camera crew is there. I mean, yeah, but at the same time, they're in full geesh. And these people are straight up just coming up like, now who are these folks? But they're in Del Rio, Texas. We get to Bruce first. Bruce is an openly gay male, and he is the mayor of Del Rio. And it's a big deal, especially because of where the town's history comes from and where Bruce is trying to take this. And you can definitely tell Bruno. Oh, I hate I said Bruce. Why did I call this man Bruce? Shame on me. Excuse me. Bruno. Bruno was amazing. This is why I like Bruno. Bruno actually, you can tell, and also through the story too, because remember he talked about the people who were trying to take him down during his election because there was a photo of him that looked a little bit feminine, and also the stuff he went through with his family, his growing up, the way his parents were open and received him, but there was also this craziness that started with his dad wrecking his car, being taken advantage of and being sexually assaulted at one point in time. That journey, I'm telling you, I was listening to Bruno's story and I was just like, Jesus Christ. And just his attitude is so, it's palpable. And what I liked about this, as I talk about the show and go through here, is that Bruno ends up assisting or talking to somebody else, a part of this experience, and they see someone who's older, who's also in the community, who is like a role model and someone who's made it through and who's doing something for the community. That is what is so important in our own community. I keep saying that word, but it's important, y'all. It's important. We need people to look up to, because a lot of us, including myself, Dooley can speak on this. We talked about this before on our podcast. Some of us didn't have role models growing up, people that we could see just like us from the same community who were doing things that we wanted to do, or things that made us feel a little bit more open to become and be ourselves. So when I tell you I was impressed with Bruno's stories, I really was. And how he wanted to bring pride to Del Rio, which he did. We're going to go through those pictures too. Let's see here. I'm just trying to make sure I get these names right. Ezael is the other one with Bob, right? Is it Ezael? I believe so. Hold on. Let's go through here, baby. No, let me go to Joey first. Let me talk about my baby Joey. 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 I almost became protective of this person because I have a friend of mine who I lost a few years ago that reminds me of Joey. Oh shit. So this person, I felt like I knew. And come on, Matt. Their story was it was personal for me. I had a friend of mine just like Joey. And the difference was they didn't get the same response back when they continued to be more open about themselves, like how Joey was getting. So, they ended up being homeless and unfortunately having to work the streets, and somebody got them. But seeing Joey here, it's not that same story, but it's this. I knew in my heart of hearts, and it's not like I was saying, "Oh, I'm going to pin this on them and that's going to be their journey." But the moment Eureka sat down with Joey, I said, "That is a woman." Do you hear me? The moment they sat down, I said, "That's a woman." Pussy down immediately. And then they started explaining the he, him and the family situation. I said, okay, never mind. I'm wrong. I was like, I was wrong. But I immediately thought that. I was like, okay, this I feel is going to be a part of their journey. I was right. But I could see it just inside of them. And I was like, ooh, I know we're gonna get there. Let them be on their journey. This is their road. If it doesn't be, it'll never be. But if it is, then it is. But I saw that woman sitting at that table, and I saw them really struggling with wanting to have the respect from their parents, as well as the communication still, while also trying to be themselves. I saw the struggle, and it was real. But I saw how that they became so open once meeting Eureka. I promise you, isn't it always something when you see someone, or there's that one person that can just change the day, that changes the month, that changes the year, that changes your life, because it gives you the confidence to just be. I'm telling you. Listen to me talk. I was like, oh, I hear me. Uh, I'm being dead ass. I'm being for serious with you here, but that's what this show does. That's why you get my radio voice. That's what that's what We're Here does for me. All right, now this baby over here, Eziel. I hope I'm saying this correctly. Um, Traditional Mexican household, he didn't even know about drag until he saw We're Here. Drag race wasn't even his central point of view, y'all. He said he didn't even know about drag until we got here. We're here. I said, oh, I hope y'all took that like a, we were the introduction. Swish. But he saw the show and he contacted, and of course, Bob is there. And it's more so about the fact that you could tell with him, it's the same thing when it comes to, same thing when it comes to Joey about the next level in terms of their openness and being who they are, and the fact that they hadn't come out to their parents yet, but it was on their mind and they were trying to figure out a way to do it, or if how they can, and the idea of them disowning them. Like, let me tell you something, coming out ain't no easy joke, okay? And some of y'all already know my story. Mine was traumatic. Traumatic. I had several different stories because it was the sister, then the friend, then this one, and it went in detail. But when it got to the dad and the parent, oh no, that was my story. So when I tell you, it's a tough road, because what you don't want is to lose your family just for you being you, and them also needing to understand that you and all of this has nothing to do with them. What does have to do with them is the relationship of child and parent. Not to get into the gender stereotypes here, but child and parent. Okay. So Bob, again, perfect person for this job and for getting this baby up and running. Also, the barbecue looked good low key. Was the barbecue good, Bob? Can we find that out? The barbecue looked good. They went to the taco trucks. By the way, that is Texas, but it's also LA, but it's Texas because I go to taco trucks out here. To go ahead and pass out flyers to tell the town about the drag show and what was to come. Of course, there was a serious conversation that happened out here. I had to take this shot because this is so Texas for me. Like, for y'all that know, this is my home, right? This is so Texas for me. The way this was shot, I was like, bitch, I know where that's at. But there was a conversation that happened outside, of course, with the parents, and going over when Joey expressed themselves and who they wanted to be. And of course, the father talking about expectations. Once again, it is a recurring theme, but that's just where we're at with parents sometimes, right? Sorry if I'm flowing through this fast, y'all. I do got another show I got to get to, but I want to make sure I close this out right. And I'll make sure I have way more time next time here. I was running a little bit behind, okay? Of course, Bob out in Mexico meets the sister, and of course, they are going over the game plan and how they're going to have to come out to the parents. Whew, this episode was really, really amazing. And again, this is the moment when Bruno and Shangela had the conversation about Bruno's full moment, and what they went through, and them coming to terms with who they are, and this leading into the conversation had with the younger baby, looking at this baby like, I need some help and what you can do, and let's bring pride to Del Rio, which they end up doing. They bring pride to Del Rio. June 21st, official date of pride for them. There was this moment too where Joey was coming out to them as non-binary, and I found that to be so interesting, because towards the end of the show, like we talked about, they're fully a trans woman. Like I said, once they said the non-gender binary, I said, there's one more. I promise you, if this is where it's at, I see it. But if it goes another step, I already know what's up, because I saw a woman when I saw Joey sitting at the table. I said, that is a lady down, Miss Girl. How you doing, sis? Down. And I'm not even anywhere near saying that negative. I'm saying it completely positive. Like, I see your spirit. It's shining bright. But this was a beautiful moment too. I love that the town was involved with this. Del Rio, it's a good look. It's a good look, Del Rio. I'm telling you, don't let them conservatives lie to you. It's a good look. Shangela once again opens up the show and gives us a damn good performance, but it was with one of my favorite songs to hear, and it was also very Texas of her to do. Get on up, move your body to me, boom, boom, give it on, give me that ecstasy, pow, pow, pow. Yes, very that. So, love it, love it, love it. Joey's performance was amazing. Madonna's Vogue is always a good choice. I love the outfit changes, Eureka getting on stage with them. The fantasy was real. I'm glad that their family was there to witness it and the support they showed afterwards. It's such a heartwarming and just touching moment. I love this show. It's so good. I'm so nervous for the next 2 episodes because I saw Selma was up there, and y'all know my family is from Alabama, so ooh, I'm so nervous. Oh my goodness. Now, Bob was up here giving the best Doja Cat possible. Ezel was up there too, wearing it out. I thought it was a beautiful performance. And of course, their family was there to see them because right before the show started, they told Bob that they came out to their dad and their mom and that they were okay with it and that they were excited that they were going to do this opportunity. And you should have said something sooner. And it was such a moment. Um, it was such a moment. So I'm really excited to see where they go through their new journey, and I love that. Liam, it's interesting because one of my exes, is from Selma, and we had many deep conversations about that. My mom marched in Selma. Okay, my mother marched in Selma with Martin Luther King. That is, we still talk about that. Um, there's history with my family in Selma. So like that one I'm already going to be like, "Ooh, this is going to be tough." And history with people who I've been in relationships with, with Selma. So yeah, I'm definitely going to have a really tough time watching that one, especially because that's close to home with people that my family, right? So moving forward here with this, and keeping the ball rolling. Our good mayor, right over here, come on, Bruno, gave Selena all the dues they needed. And as a Texan, I love Selena too. And I loved how they opened up the performance here. And then they went into the disco medley that Selena did, and Shangela came out, and it was just so lovely. It was such a positive episode. It was heartwarming to see this town embrace the community, the LGBTQIA plus side of it. Maybe people who are living there can feel a bit more open. Of course, there is going to be still pushback from some awful, hateful, disgusting people who just are not getting how nobody's a threat. They're just people just like you. There are, of course, bad apples in every bunch, but they're not to be mixed in with a community of folks who are just trying to live and breathe and love just like you. You know what I mean? So yeah, once again, We're Here is that kind of show. It's going to take you there. It's going to put you in the best of feels. You're going to laugh along with the queens. You're going to relate to the people who share their stories, and we're blessed to have it. I would hate for the show to end, honestly. I really would. Like it's good. This is just season 2. I was so happy when they got it. Like, God, are we really going to ruin this opportunity? Like, HBO, do not be a fool. But yeah. I love it. I love it, and I'm excited to see it. And I'll continue reviewing it, of course. Episode 4 and 5 will have again Wednesday coming up, and I'm gonna try to get caught up with 6 and 7. I think 6 is out now, or possibly it's not. I don't know. I'll get caught up either way. You'll have the reviews. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. We got 100 and plus people in the room. Please make sure you hit that like button. Smash it, smash it, smash it, smash it. It's been a long day for me, so I'm gonna be a little bit around. But it's all right. I love y'all so much. I was crying a lot. Another reason why I'm tired, because I was like, damn, I had to watch this right before this live. My God. I think I'm going to watch Selma and the rest of them early so I get those emotions out the way now and then have my review ready, because whew, every time someone's like, but I love my mother, I'm like, me too. Like I go there. But hey. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love y'all so much, and I appreciate the support you have given me. And I appreciate you for coming here and giving me these views so we can keep this channel going. Okay. We got Canada's Drag Race tomorrow here on the channel. That will be live, and it will be in the afternoon for some, evening time for others, especially for those of you across the pond. Panel will be Sunday. We have a lot to talk about with that. And again, continue to be on the lookout for more reactions on Patreon, as I've already posted for UK, but we will have Canada's up as well soon. Hopefully it'll be an interesting episode and I won't be sitting there bored the entire time. I love you more, and I love you so much for coming here and blessing me with your energy, as well as me reciprocating it back to you for what you gave me, because I love y'all too, all right? So puss and all that good stuff. Listen, always listen. I'll see you next time, kids. Actually, I'll see you over on Stereo for this podcast and on Scotty by Nature's channel for the Boys Night Out panel. All right, until next time. Bye.
Listen. Yeah.